This conference will now be recorded.
All right, welcome everybody to our first Quicksilver open house. My name is Brandy Pember and I'm going to be your host. So before we get started, I'd like to encourage everybody to pay close attention to this information. The best way to pay attention is by taking notes and removing all distractions. The other reason we ask you guys to take notes, that way if you have any questions, we can answer them at the very end. Also, if you guys are joining us on video, please be sure to turn on your cameras because remember, visibility is accountability. And it also helps us because we don't feel like we're talking to ourselves. Also, studies show successful business people turn off all background noises. This includes your TV, your iPad, your cell phone. Make sure your kids and pets are occupied in the other room and remove any other distractions that would keep you from learning how to build a successful business and how to collect silver. So, next order of business is to introduce our speaker. There's 4 things I could tell you about him. Number 1, he knows 100% of the information. He makes a lot of money. He loves to have fun and he loves to help people. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Jeff Gamble.
All right, I appreciate that. Brandy is not only my fiance, but also a business partner in multiple things that we do. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Jeff Gamble. I'm out of Indianapolis, Indiana, and have a background in holistic health as well as real estate. I've got all my Grant Cardone stuff on at the moment because we came from a networking event earlier. And we actually took a look at this company and this opportunity, I would say just prior to COVID, right around that time. And it's funny now, everything's referenced pre-COVID or post-COVID, and I say only funny because that's how people reference it, not that COVID was funny. And in saying that, we took a look at this, and a friend of mine actually acquaintance that I knew brought it to me, and then it disappeared. I couldn't find the information. I couldn't remember the company name, anything. And then another friend of mine, and it was about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, I saw a very successful networker in the industry. It popped up on his newsfeed, and I was like, oh, that's that company. And I went and looked, and I said, hey, let me dive into this, made some phone calls and got more and more information about it. And I said, this actually looks like something that's solid, something that I want to do. And what I'd like to do is share with you some information that was shared with us. So if you run into the right person, you have the ability to refer us. Now, second, outside of just referral, this may be a way for you to become a customer of Buying Silver. I think it's a good idea. Many people think it's a good idea. Warren Buffett highly suggests he's invested over $1 billion in silver. I think that's, a pretty strong interest. And then last, you might actually be interested in the opportunity, and we'd like to share that with you. So if you do run into somebody who that would be a good fit for, if it's not for you, that you have the ability to refer us off. So every single Tuesday, we will be having an open house to share with people kind of 6 things. There's 6 areas you'd evaluate if you would evaluate anything, in the business world. The first one is the company. You want to make sure it's solid, been around, has solid people behind it. The need that you're actually solving a need in the marketplace, something that people are actually looking for. The market or the marketability of a product or service. You want to know where it can be sold and how it can be sold. The products themselves, is the product something that people have been buying, will be buying, should buy, could buy? The compensation, how are you paid, and then the timing. So to start out with, a little bit about this company, based in Bradenton, Florida. If you don't know where that is, it's just a little south of Tampa. It was founded by Keith and Christy. Now, the interesting thing about these two is they actually first worked in the field of direct sales. They worked basically as salespeople, and they worked their way up into corporate of a company that did this. Keith learned, the administrative side and the buying side and purchasing side and running the operation. And Chrissy became actually the head of customer service. So they made a decision to basically branch off and start their own company, which is Quicksilver. It opened, like I said, in 2019 and expanded now into 29 countries. So when you talk about something that's just getting up, just getting going, what a time to start. 2019, 2020 happens and the world gets shut down. So that's one of the reasons we're going to look at this. The need itself. Now, I think there's a lot of needs here, but I would say 4 needs that I'm seeing more and more when I'm out talking with people is, first, the need and ability to make more money. People are looking for opportunities, ways to make more money from home, to keep up with inflation, to keep up with the cost of gas, the cost of food, the cost of rent, the cost of insurance. I'm hearing about a lot of things that are going up and people are having issues with. The ability to have more time. I know a lot of people are looking for a way to kind of replace certain things that take up a lot of time. Certain jobs, certain careers take up a ton of time, and they're looking for ways to replace those to basically do what you want to do with your time, which is super important. A lot of times it takes money to do that. Third is to create some more security. I know a lot of people who are in situations where their careers aren't necessarily secure. They're hanging by a thread. They're walking on eggshells. They're worried about management or somebody coming in and saying, hey, today's the last day. I mean, we see companies close every single day across the country. There are industries that are changing because of AI, artificial intelligence. I just found out that over 40% of all coding, all computer coding this year was done by AI, which means 40% is no longer done by human beings. It's done by a computer machine. So there's more and more industries are going to get hit like that, right? And then last, the ability to contribute and help other people. Because if you solve the money thing and you have your time back and you have security, what else is there to do other than, obviously, for yourself, have fun, is go out and help other people. So, how much money are you looking to make? What kind of lifestyle do you want to live? Where do you want to travel? How do you want to spend time with your family? These are all important questions. And that's one of the needs that we actually solve. Next, the market availability. We talked about 29 different countries. People are like, well, which countries specifically are you in? United States being the main base. And then, islands. We've got Europe. We've got parts of, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. The United Kingdom. So we have, multiple time zones all the way to the other side of the world, New Zealand. So it's up to you where you build. I always say, build in your own backyard first, and then find out who knows somebody in different places. Currently, right now, I'm going to put this out there because it was given to me by corporate. The last I spoke with them, there were approximately total on the books about 4,000 customers. And I was told less than a third of those customers are actual reps. So, I mean, this is the very beginning of them taking off and launching this. The product itself is silver. I think that was evident by the name. When somebody says, well, Quicksilver, I was like, okay, so at least you have silver. There is gold and nickel and other things that are sold, but the primary is 1 ounce government silver bullion coins. That's kind of the primary focus of this. Now we're going to talk about why. There's 6 reasons why it's a good idea to stack silver, outside of the fact that, billionaire investor Warren Buffett said it's a good idea. This was some of the research that I did and, came up with that it kind of made sense. Number one, it's industrial. And we're going to talk about that here in a second, is how is silver used in industry? Because anything that's used in industry and anything that's in limited supply, tends to be valuable. Silver's valuable. The interesting thing is every time I've actually brought out the silver coins and people have seen them, I call it the treasure effect. People have seen silver jewelry before. I've got a sterling silver ring on. But when you see it in the form of a coin or multiple coins, it is like a treasure effect. People are like, wow, I've never seen that before. And people want to hold and touch the coins. And they're like, every single person has always asked me, where did you get these from? It's also tangible. So we talked about that. You can actually physically touch it. It's transportable. I can put it in my pocket. I can take it with me, on a trip, on a plane, take it with me to lunch. I can show other people. It's transferable. So if you want to give it to somebody else, it's as simple as handing it to them. Now, obviously, it would be a lot more difficult to do this with diamonds or with bricks of gold, right? It's also very economical. It's something that people can do that makes sense. Wise will be right back, he said. Okay, so the industrial uses for silver. Not only is it used in medical for like bandages and catheters, it's used in water purification systems. Almost all electronics, silver is used, whether it's computers. If you have a cell phone, this is really good. People are like, oh, I don't know, silver. I said, hold up your cell phone for me. There's silver inside. Why? Because silver is one of the best metal conductors of electricity, and it doesn't corrode. So that's one of the reasons, A, it will always be around. And if it's sitting in every computer, it's sitting in every cell phone, it's sitting in every camera that comes out, which now the camera industry really is the cell phone industry. It's not going anywhere, right? It's not going away. Now, why would you buy it from Quicksilver? Because this is a question, friends of mine had for me. I said, well, there's two reasons I can think of. Number one is the security. If you go out to a shop, you have no idea what you're buying. You really don't. Quicksilver not only goes out and does the research and has the contracts with the mint, but also I found that there are people in the field. There are people actually in our company who are experienced collectors, who are experienced buyers. So if there was something off, these would be the first people to come out and say, hey, wait a minute, this isn't right. This isn't what they said it is. And that is, part of what gave me trust in what we're doing. The second thing is the opportunity. Quicksilver actually will pay you to refer other people to the program. And what I found personally in talking to collectors and talking to shop owners, because I've gone out and did some, feet on the ground research, they will never pay you to refer them a client. Never. Bring in a new customer. They're like, thank you so much. That's about what you're going to get. So two really good reasons. So now I want to go into a little bit of the compensation. There's actually 6 ways to get paid, and I'm just going to describe this as easy as possible because there's numbers and different charts and stuff. So the first, direct commissions, is basically retail. You have, as a rep, a retail site. You have the ability to go on and shop yourself. You have the ability to send a link to somebody else where they can go on and shop. And as you can see, if you want to blow this up, there are, gold is one of the first things, and then there's just a plethora of different coins, anywhere between 1 ounce, 2 ounce, and they've got little bricks of it. It's up to you how you want to buy. If you see here, it says discovering more assets. You can do 1 ounce silver coins, 2 ounce silver coins, fractional silver, specialty silver, ancient, historic, gold pieces, etc., etc. So retail, buy it, wholesale, sell it retail. You can sell it right off of your website, right off of your phone. You can run this business from your phone. Or I have friends that buy extra coins and literally will go out and show them and sell them for retail. If you're buying and there's a margin of $1 or $3, no, that's not a lot of money if you sell 1 or 2, but if you're selling boxes or cases, it starts to get really good. Next up, the customer acquisition bonus. So if somebody decides to become on our auto wealth shipment, which is 1, 2, 4, or 10 coins, you actually do get $1 upfront for every single coin bought in that initial launch. An extra $10 here and there adds up pretty quickly, and it'll add up in another category that we're going to talk about. The compensation here is the challenge bonuses. So one thing that I liked about this is display. When you have something you can display, people tend to buy more, number one. I've got a challenge box back here, one that I filled up. And this is one of the best, you talk about one of the best ways to actually share with somebody. When I was able to open this up and I was able to show people an entire box, as I fumble this around, didn't think this through, an entire box of silver coins. My face doesn't show up here, does it? I should take a picture of that instead, so we'll make a mental note for the presentation in the future. When you show somebody an entire box of 1 ounce silver coins, again, that treasure effect kicks in. The challenge bonus basically not only doubles your ability to make bonuses, but it also gives you a display where if you're showing an individual or a group, it just makes such a bigger impact than pulling out individual coins and laying them on a table, right? Because if you go to a jewelry store, think of it, every jewelry store you've probably ever gone to, they pull out a velvet, pad to lay the watch down or lay the ring down or lay the necklace down and display everything. This is what you get. There's white gloves, so that way you're not touching the silver and putting oil on it, along with a magnifying glass if you want to, if you're like me and you want to look at the intricate detail and how it's all etched out. So the challenge bonuses are a lot of where the upfront money is. We also have override bonuses. So this is the second part of the challenge bonuses, not only do you get bonuses level 1, but if you refer somebody else and they buy or sell a challenge pack, there's an additional bonus. Now you can make $5, you can make $10, your second level, your third level, and all the way down to 7 levels. This part of the comp plan by itself more than doubled the amount of money that you have the ability to make. The wealth cycle. So this is where what we would call the passive income kicks in. So all coins that are purchased, whether they're purchased retail, like we talked about up front, direct sales, whether they're purchased on an auto wealth shipment, whether they're purchased by a rep or customer, all of those coins go in and create points. And those points, there are personal points, there are personally referred points, meaning somebody else, customer, or there's team points, somebody that, has been recruited to the team. So how do the wealth cycles work? Well, first of all, you actually have to have one order in to be able to qualify, meaning you have to have one auto shipment, either yourself or a customer, that's at least buying one coin. That puts you active in the system. Once you build up 100 points on the left and 100 points on the right, how do you build up those points? Well, first of all, there have to be people there. So you've, referred off 2 friends or 2 acquaintances or 2 absolute strangers that just like silver and want to make money, one on the left and one on the right. When they accumulate 100 points, now they could accumulate 100 points by buying it personally, they could accumulate it by customers, or they could accumulate it by also referring off people. 100 points left, 100 points right, as long as you have your 10 in, that kicks off one cycle of a $10 commission, which doesn't sound like a lot, but here's the thing. What if it came in every month? What if it came in every month? What if 2 cycles come in, 3 cycles come in? And what I'm going to show you is, the ability to qualify is you have to be an ambassador for this. You have to have at least 10 points, which is 1 coin coming through, and you have to maintain an auto shipment or an auto wealth shipment of at least 1 coin. So here's kind of the levels of compensation. It starts out as an ambassador or wealth ambassador. Once you have your 2 people in, it kicks off the ability to make 2 cycles level 1. You get to level 2, now there's 4 cycles, so now there's a max of $40 that can come in a month just off of the team buying. Now, here's what's interesting. If somebody starts buying coins and they're coming in month after month after month, it's kind of like Christmas. Every time our coins come in, and Dave, I saw you do this too. You can actually open these coins up live on Facebook, show people what's coming in and how it's coming in. And people actually have reached out to us and be like, hey, how does this work? Where are you getting these coins from? What value are they? How do I get them? Where do I get them? I've had all kinds of questions just by showing people that they're coming in. So it's kind of fun to know that every single month, it's like Christmas, a package shows up. Now you can buy more than that, but we loved this process. Here's why we like this process. Because I looked at silver for 4 years. Every time I saw anything about silver and gold, because I've been following Robert Kiyosaki for quite some time, and Robert Kiyosaki talks about, precious metals. Warren Buffett talks about precious metals, silver specifically. I would go online and look. Have you ever gone online and looked? And then you get confused because there's 7,000 websites and there's all different denominations and I don't know who I'm getting what from and what I should buy or how I should buy it. This just made it stupid simple. And once we started in the process, every single month, we've received our coins. Don't have to think about it. Don't have to plan it out. Don't have to decide which, where, how. Just have to put it on automatic. So that's kind of how we started, is we just started collecting coins. After a while, we were like, hey, this is a great thing. I started showing the coins. I started telling other people, and they said, well, how do I get started doing this? And we started sharing this again and again and again and started building a team of people, which kicked in these wealth cycles. So all of a sudden we went into our back office and we saw $20 show up, and then we saw $80 show up, and then we saw $150 and $200 and $400. I believe we passed $600 our first month doing this, and it paid our next month for all 10 coins that we ordered, plus our $9.95 to be an associate. And then we were able to order some specialty coins, because every once in a while they drop a limited supply coin, and we were able to purchase that. I went online to look at one of the ones I bought. I bought it for $87. It's listed online for sale right now at $197. So that's, 100% profit. By the way, I didn't sell it. I don't want to sell it. I'm not going to sell it because somebody asked me if they could buy it. I was like, no, this was a limited run. I want to keep this and see how much it goes up over time. And obviously, I cannot guarantee that silver is going up. I can't guarantee it's going to go up. I can't guarantee it's going to go down. I'm not a predictor of that. I'm not a financial planner. I don't play one on TV. But these levels, you kind of move up just by being in the system. As you refer in more people, there are more points that come through and you move up. So this is level 1 through 8. As you can see, once you get to level, I believe 7, it goes from 10 points to 20, or 10 points to 20, which means you need to be on 2 coins a month to be able to qualify for 36 cycles. So that's 360. It gets really fun right here at level 14 where it breaks $1,000. Max $1,200 a month comes in on, I call it on autopilot, but that's what the wealth cycle is about, all the way up to 6,000. If you want to get really crazy, kick in the leadership bonuses, an $8,000 month, total 11,000, 15,000, 20, and then there's an additional $500 to $5,000 monthly bonus. Now that's on top of any retail sales. That's on top of your challenge bonus that you personally sell. That's on top of the override bonuses. And then you have the customer acquisition bonuses, and then the wealth cycles and the leadership bonuses if you decide to build that big. How is timing with this? And all I can do is tell you my story. I can't tell you what to do. But we looked at this, and I've been researching and looking at coins for 4 years. During that 4 years that I was looking, I did nothing. I bought nothing. I kept getting confused of what to buy and where to buy. And every single time I talked to somebody different, somebody said I should get something different. Some people said I should get junk silver, and I should buy nickels, and I should buy pre-64 coins. Somebody said I should just buy quarters. Somebody said I should buy American Eagles. Somebody said I should buy just collector stuff. Here's what I can tell you. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is right now. So all I can tell you is get started doing something and then build on it from there. Build on it from there. I can't tell you what to do, but I would say the sooner you do something, the better off you are. So that is kind of a quick overview of kind of who we are. Now, there are 3 outcomes that people have here. The first outcome is, hey, great. Now that I know what you do, I have the ability to refer you. So I wanted to thank everybody who's, watching the recording of this, that now you know who we are, what we do, and how we do it. The second is somebody who just wants to purchase the coins. They just want to put it on auto shipment, or maybe they just want to go to retail. You have the ability to do that. That's not going to cost you anything other than buying the coin and the shipping. Because to be a customer, there's nothing else to sign up for other than buying what you want. The third option is you'd actually want to be an ambassador. An ambassador is nothing more than a representative of the company. How much does that cost? It costs $10. People say, well, why in the world would I spend $10? Well, corporate puts together the website. Corporate does all the accounting. Corporate ships everything. Corporate decides what comes out. And you don't have to do any of that for $10. And if you've ever owned a business before, you could not hire somebody for $10 to do all the things I just mentioned. Build your own website, have a retail checkout, make sure it gets shipped, make sure it gets stamped. Every single time it comes in, it's got the business card, right? It's got our invoice in it. That stuff's all done for you for that $10 a month if you decide to become a rep. The real decision becomes, do you want double bonuses or not? If you buy a challenge pack, you have the ability to earn double bonuses automatically, so long as you have a monthly auto ship. So that's kind of really the big choice here is do you want that or don't you? Brandy and I decided to go all in. We were like, well, if we're going to do this, it would only make sense that even if we're thinking about doing this, that we would want to have the double bonuses. And those double bonuses have more than paid for themselves. It paid for our initial challenge kit. It's paid for a bunch of free silver that we've gotten. And I say free silver, we've worked for it, but it came in the form of bonuses. And then choose your auto monthly. A friend of mine, I sent him this overview because he was asking us what we were going to do. I sent him the overview. He read through and he goes, okay, I got a question. How much does it cost to become a rep? I said, it's $10 a month. He goes, what if I don't want to do it anymore? I said, you just call in and tell him you're done. He's like, okay. He goes, the challenge pack, $159. Is that one time or is that every month? I'm like, that's one time. He goes, so I buy this once and I double my bonuses permanently. I'm like, yes, as long as you have, an auto ship. He goes, well, what does it take to be active in the system? I'm like, 1 coin. He goes, that's it. I just have to buy 1 coin a month to be active. I'm Like, yes, if you want to move all the way up the compensation chart, you'd have 4 coins, but you can start with 1 until you hit level 7. And at level 7, you'll have to make a decision whether you want to get paid more. I mean, it would totally make sense because it would pay for itself, but that's up to you. Now you can move your auto wealth order up to 10, and you can drop it back to 1. That's your decision. You can do that at any point, either in your back office or make a phone call. Because I've already had somebody call and ask and said, hey, I want to change it from 2 to 4. Can I do that? Yes, make a phone call. So that's kind of how easy and simple it is. This is something Brandy and I saw. And like, I said at the beginning, Brandy and I are holistic doctors. So we have a very successful holistic health practice here in Indianapolis. That's been our full-time income. It's a great income. We love what we do. We made a decision to start a second income. We wanted something that was scalable. And we started our real estate company. I've been in real estate for years. It just made sense, something that I've invested in and done. Land, they're not making any more of it, right? So we decided to jump into that. But what I realized is there's a ton of my friends that didn't have the thousands of dollars left over that we did. They didn't have the 750 or 760 credit score plus that Brandy and I did. They were looking to start out something. And I said, what else can we do to create another 6-figure income that anybody could do, cost-wise, anybody could do, knowledge-wise, anybody could do, and silver just kept popping up again and again. So that's one of the main reasons that we made a decision to actually get involved after we learned this information, after we made the phone calls and did the research. It just was a no-brainer, and we're really happy. We now have somewhere in the neighborhood of just over 100 1-ounce silver coins. So you can do the math on that. It's been really good. Now, if you have a background or history in direct sales, I want to kind of say this. I got started in direct sales in 1997, which was like a billion years ago, it seems like. And if I look back at all the money I spent on an average basis for products that I've bought and trainings that I've gone to and seminar tickets and, travel and meeting, and you average it out, a certain monthly amount. Now, my monthly amount was more than what I would say most people is because I traveled all over the place and built pretty big. But if I would have started in 1987, taking that same amount of money and buying silver coins, we added that up, and I would be nearing 7 figures in just silver coins. And I thought, wow. I was like, the interesting thing about silver is people have been using silver as an exchange of goods all the way back to Roman times. They still use silver today. So I was like, this is something that if we get into 10 years from now, we could donate this, we could sell it, we could give it to family. It's just an asset that, you want to have. And looking at inflation, it kind of keeps up with that too. So I appreciate everybody for being on tonight. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up and say thank you. Get back with the person who actually brought you to see this video. Get all your questions answered. And if it's something that's a good fit for you, I would say get started right away, get to a training, jump online, meet some of the people who are involved, and get some silver and start stacking it. So we appreciate everybody so much. I'm going to go ahead and end the recording.